So a lot of people expect that when they make one video, there would be like, it will be business right away.
Right.
You know, like, oh, I just posted a video and why is it not bringing me any business?
Sure.
It's like putting out your megaphone and going outside of your apartment and be like, hey, I have a business. And then you expect somebody to knock on your apartment door and be like, yo, I want to do business with you. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
have you ever had an idea that was so clear it was like a 3D movie? Have you ever told a friend about the idea and they told you, wow, if you could only make that into a business, you would be rich? Sound familiar? Welcome to Knowledge to Currency. I'm your host, Senator Porter, with my co-host, Roosevelt Williams III, and we're here to help you take action. This is free information. We only ask one thing: build a strong foundation and mindset. We have insight to help you get started. Most of us just need a push. What's happening? Episode 51, Knowledge to Currency. I'm your host, Senator Porter, and you are?
I'm excited. 51 episodes, brother.
Yes, sir.
I'm Roosevelt Williams III. Happy to be here.
And welcome to Knowledge to Currency, where knowledge is power and currency is king. And today we have Brandon Fortino from the CEO of Short Form Pros. Welcome to the show today.
well, thanks for having me here. I'm excited.
Man, so Brandon, we met at an ARIA event, and over the last few weeks, I feel like we have a good connection, good friendship. So I want to first say I appreciate you coming to the show. We reached a milestone today. We're actually doing 2 shows at once. So
Wow.
51 episodes. I started this over a year ago with Roosevelt. I just wanted to get to 50. So now we're exceeding that. So I'm glad you're on the show.
That's commitment right there.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Not a lot of people made it to after episode 1.
Well, that's what I hear. They were saying if you go, what they say, over 5, you're over in the 99%.
Mm-hmm.
So it's crazy. And it's been a journey to get to 50, and now we're at 51, but we're going to keep it going.
Love that.
So you trailblazing. You know, you're a trailblazer. And especially, I personally want to learn more about, how to rock them while we got them. Virtual content. How do we keep them engaged? How do we keep them excited? And with you being a subject matter expert, let's get right to it.
Let's do it. Yeah,
absolutely.
Fire away.
First, let's talk about your company. How'd you even get into it? Like, what made you want to start it?
Yeah, so kind of a little backstory. I was born and raised in Jakarta in Indonesia, so grew up there for about 12 years, moved to America when I was 12, to a small town, Bakersfield, and then moved down here to San Diego for college. And that's where really everything kind of like moved to kind of start shifting in a sense. So I studied like a business, regular like everybody else. But I remember that since I was about like 14 years old, I loved this thing about cameras. Like when I had my phone, just loved like taking pictures, making videos. So back then I would do it as a hobby.
Right.
Bought my first camera when I was like 16 or 17, I forgot. Saved like my 3 months of salary for that. And I remember the first time I got that, I was super like I want to get right into making something. I don't know what. I didn't even know what I was doing. The batteries happened to be charged, so I started like creating. Fast forward, I did a couple of projects with my school. When I was in San Diego State, I was actually doing some projects with the school as well, with the university.
Nice.
And right into the last year of my college, coming from a low-income family, I was paying for my own college.
Sure.
And I had those situations where I was like, well, I'm not getting any grants anymore my last year of college because my parents were making like an extra $2,000 in their year, something like that, right?
Right.
And at the time, I had a corporate internship paying me like $15 an hour. Then I realized I was like, San Diego's rent ain't like not cheap.
Not at all.
It's not going down.
It's not not going down anytime soon. So I had to do something else to kind of supply my living expense here. And I thought of getting another job or doing something, and ended up like, you know what? I'm gonna make this hobby into something that may be making money.
Right.
So did it as like a little side hustle, made a little bit of money. And it got to the point, I still remember this, December of 2021 is when I started making actually a lot more on my side hustle than I was at my internship.
Okay.
So I was like, you know what? Like the only thing stopping me now is this internship. So decided to leave that by the end of 2021, make it quote unquote an actual business. At the time, didn't know what that means, right?
Right.
And just started crawling my way into the real estate space, work with a lot of realtors, taking photos and videos of their stuff, and did that for a whole year and a half. And then realized the power of social media, started learning about all that, and kind of like fell in love with this thing of like what I studied back in college was marketing. And so I was like, my passion in video and marketing combined, nowadays it's such a valued skill set to have. So that's when I was like, realized there's a demand, and I noticed that there is a value that I can bring to a lot of these professionals. So that's how the business was born. And we're about almost a year now, ever since we're officially Short Form Pros was a thing. So that's kind of the short story to it.
So then you say so you have a team.
Yeah.
How many people?
So we have currently a team of 5 people total, including me. So we have 6 people, sorry.
Okay.
So 4 full-time editors and 1 executive assistant in my team. And there's me.
Nice.
Yeah.
So then,
If I did that math correctly.
Nice.
now 4 plus 2 is 6. Are you good?
Hey, I'm good.
That's that good old college education.
That's a San Diego State college education.
Hey,
I
right?
got you.
So
Not a finance major, you know?
No, that's right.
so now, like you said, now things are shifting where social media and short form content is so important. With you being an expert, or I guess a business owner in that, what are some mistakes that you see people make in short form content, I guess?
I think people, like the most common one that I see is that they're not taking it as a priority.
Okay.
So here's what I mean by that. So a lot of people expect that when they make one video, they would be like, it will be business right away.
Right.
You know, like, oh, I just posted a video, and why is it not bringing me any business?
Sure.
It's like putting out your megaphone and going outside of your apartment and be like, hey, I have a business. And then you expect somebody to knock on your apartment door and be like, yo, I want to do business with you. You know what I mean? Right. So I think there's still a unrealistic kind of set of expectations when it comes to social media. Whereas usually what I would say to that is shifting your perspective in a sense of, you could be going to events, you can be going to these meetings one-on-one with person on lunches, which is great, but that's still a one-on-one interaction.
Sure.
Or you got to look at it as like with videos, if you do it consistently, like what you all are doing with podcasts,
right,
it eventually will compound. And from just the 1 hour that you spend here, 45 minutes or whatnot, if 100 people see that, that's a ton of minutes that they're actually spending for just 1 hour of our time.
Right.
That's 45 hours of what people actually are consuming.
Right.
Now, same goes with short form videos, like just make that into a smaller scale. A 1 minute video, if there's 1,000 people see it, that's 1,000 minutes that people are seeing your face, your brand, the red jacket, whatever that looks like. You know what I mean? So I think people are still not using the right expectations coming into this new form of social channel or social media.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like that word, a compound, because it gains momentum.
Right.
What are some of the advice you would give to I guess business owners when it comes to branding?
Define what do you mean by branding?
Branding, just for example, I'm Roosevelt with the Rose.
There you
with
go.
the Rose. So as you being like a content creator,
Right,
knowing how to just engage, what advice would you give to a business owner that wants to compound and wants to build?
Right. So that's like, I think, in my opinion, that's kind of like 2 different questions. So let's tackle it one by one, right? To me, I think branding is not a thing. Like branding is just a collection of things. If I started wearing green jacket tomorrow and I start making videos in green jackets, now the red jacket became obsolete. Now I'm a green jacket guy. I heard this analogy where, like, I think it's beautifully said that branding is like a bouquet of flowers. It's like the sentence bouquet of flowers. The word bouquet in itself is not a thing without the flowers. The flowers is what makes the bouquet. So the bouquet is like your branding, whatever that looks like. Roosevelt, the suit, the rose, the glasses, that makes what Roosevelt is. Me, my red jacket, my red hair, the way I'm like super energetic, and maybe kind of Asian too, that adds together and becomes a brand. So when people think of branding, it's like, I want to grow my brand. What they're really asking it is like, what they should be asking is like, what do I want my brand to be? Like, what do I want people to feel when they receive my bouquet of flowers? So for example, like, I would love for people that work with me feel like they're always being challenged to try out something new. So I always do that through the actions of the business and all of the above. I want them to feel like I'm always there right next to their side when they're creating content. So that's another aspect of branding that I feel like people miss. It's more than just like a color or a feeling. It's more of like your total action that creates of who you are as a person or as a business. So that's a little switch up to your to the branding.
That's truth.
Right? Yeah.
I think it's truth. It's some truth. It's some truth in that. It's a collective. It's a collective. It's not just one identifier.
Right.
And especially with the consistency.
You're right, exactly. Because again, like if you were to wear the rose every day, people are gonna see the Roosevelt as and the rose, right? People see the red jacket every time. That's a part of your brand, but doesn't mean that you can't change it, you know. So I guess as a business owner, you want to make sure that your presence digitally and your presence in person is congruent.
They match.
You know, you don't want to act like online like you're this super nice person that everybody can approach, but then you go to a concert and you don't want to talk to anybody. Yeah. Now it's like not congruent. People are like, wait, you're not like that in social. That's when they get that kind of feeling, you know what I mean? But I think the best part is when they like, oh, you're just like your videos. Right. Like that is the part that you want, because now you know that your message is transferred clearly and that you're congruent in your actions and also the way you record your videos.
Thank you, Brandon.
Peace.
Yeah, that was nice.
No, I mean, it's your reputation.
Absolutely.
Repetition, consistency. I think it's a huge thing. Whereas like people focus on being consistently good.
Right.
know?
Yeah, I would know one. If I may ask, what are some key elements of effective short form content?
Oh, I like that one. Let's break it down. This is the secret sauce. You know what I mean?
Right.
3 parts. You need a hook, you need a problem or solution, and you need a call to action. That's it. That makes it 3 really, like my mentors would say it like hook, reward, retain, like catchier. Right. So basically, in a short form video, you need to, first of all, hook them with why they should be watching their video. If you think about it, as if you're on TikTok or Instagram, spend like half a second looking through it. Boom, nope. Like, so first you need to be able to make them stop in whatever they're doing to watch what you're doing, whether that being like through maybe like do something like super crazy or like say something like super just out of the ordinary in the first 3 seconds. So that's like the actual verbal hook. Having like maybe a nice captions, that's a visual hook. So first of all, you want to hook them kind of like, stop, like I got something cool to watch you, to tell you.
Right.
And then the reward or the problem or solution is what I like to call it, is basically like, now with that hook, you got to deliver on your promise. Because if people say like, oh, here's something, if the hook is like, here's the 3 secret hacks of how you can get your first home, and then you talk not about a secret hack that everybody already knows. Click. Now you're not delivering. Now people are gonna be like, okay, that was a waste of my time. I'm just gonna swipe away. So that's what I call the problem solution. So whatever that looks like, it delivers the hooks. I'll give you some real life examples in a little bit after this, and then right after that is the retain. Retain is when you're like, you give them like, okay, a reason on why they should watch more of your stuff. So sometimes like you give a call to action, whether it being like, hey, like follow me for more stuff, whatever, follow me for more content, drop a comment, get them to interact, whatever that looks like. DM me the word, quote unquote, insert your lead magnet there. But usually in that just 3 simple steps, I think people overcomplicate it. Just have something that they would hook into, bring in a really good reward on why they're sticking around, and then retain them. Kind of just politely ask them to follow you, subscribe for you, just one call to action every video.
Yeah, you gotta have your call to action. Thank you for that sequence.
Right, yeah. So that's 3 basic framework that honestly we've used so many times with a lot of like people that we work with. And if you just master this 3-step framework, you can dominate short form videos. Like one of our clients here, he is a nightclub promoter in Vegas.
Nice.
So one of the content is that, what was it? Oh, that you don't want to watch rap artists inside of a nightclub in Vegas because they only perform for 30 minutes. But he didn't start it like that. He started like, I think his hook was, if you just bought tickets to a rap concert in Vegas nightclub, you're wasting your money. First of all, that's like shock factor. You're like, whoa, what the heck? You know, maybe
Yeah,
some people that already bought the
what's he
tickets like,
talking about?
right?
Yeah.
Like I just bought a Tiger concert and
Right.
like XS, like what's going on? So you hook them, and then he delivers on that, and he gave a good reasoning on here's the reason why, because they usually come on at around like 1:30 to 1:45, and clubs close at 2 or 2:15, so they only perform for about 30 minutes. It's not good use of your time or not
your money.
or your money, exactly. So he delivered on that hook, and at the end he just got a very soft call to action of just like, hey, like just follow me for more tips like that.
Nice.
I think that video, last time I checked, which was a month ago, had around like 100K views or maybe something more now. So people just love that framework. You know what I mean? So yeah.
What about thumbnails? Like what I'm hearing or what I'm seeing
Yeah.
is now even when you do like Instagram Reels or Facebook, or if you do YouTube, your thumbnail is important. So what's some tips for thumbnails?
YouTube, definitely a different beast. I wouldn't say I'm an expert in YouTube. Let me just preface it with that. But I've gone to a lot of conferences of content creators where I've met like guys like Mr. Beast and AirRack and all these like giant YouTubers like that you could say like they wield attention in their hands, you know?
Sure.
With thumbnails, what's interesting is that sometimes people think like putting so much stuff that makes people like overbearingly want to click
Right.
is a good thing. But at the end of the day, if you break it down to the very natural psychology, you just need to invoke curiosity
Okay.
of why they want to click. So with YouTube specifically, it always have to go hand in hand with the title.
Right.
Like if your thumbnail is really good and title is kind of meh, it might be a meh performance. But if you have a decent title and a decent thumbnail, like that would actually perform probably a lot better than just like if one of them's not good. So for example, if you do a video about, I don't know, it's gonna be like say the most expensive touring the most expensive resort in the world. I love
Right.
traveling, so I would title it something like, "This resort costs $50,000 per night to stay in." That's the
Okay.
title, and then maybe on the thumbnail, I would, if it's say it's in Bora Bora or whatever, somewhere beautiful, right?
Right.
You'd put just like a picture of maybe Bora Bora and just like a really good, like maybe like a question mark. That's it. Like,
Okay.
like I don't know, something like to invoke that curiosity.
So like
You
you
know.
put 50,000 a night and then put the pictures and all that, and that's it.
Just that's it. Like again, like it's if you take a look at it, like best way to test this is just to ask your friends, like kind of like, hey, like what do you think about this? Like, and its title, like this makes it. Would you click on that? You know what I mean?
Okay.
One tip that I really heard about from a lot of these successful like YouTubers is study Netflix. What do you call it? Thumbnails.
Yeah. Okay.
So if you go to Netflix, I don't know if you guys go to Netflix, scroll through it, kind of like look at what you would click and what you would not click.
Okay.
Yeah, like, you know, like one of those like random Friday nights and you're looking for something to watch and stuff like that. Like, okay, I'm just chilling. Like when you're scrolling down, look, like actually feel like when you're scrolling, which image gives you a certain amount of feeling.
Where you're like, I gotta check this out.
Right. Or at least
Okay.
like, want you to click to read more or maybe watch the trailer.
Right.
Right. Because now you're just like, you're actually like buying more time once you click that. Right. So
Very good.
study Netflix.
Netflix.
Yeah, I like that. What are some of the errors you see individuals that's making short films make?
Like short form videos.
Yes, short form videos. What are some like mistakes? What are some of the cringy moments that you see?
I would say that they concern too much on the actual video itself. So in terms of like, they think too much about like putting out a video. So there's a couple of different mistakes. So let's tackle one by one. So one is like people like to overthink one video, especially on their first video if they never ever actually post a short form video. So I think a part of the key in getting better is actually just keep repetition. So what I would advise people is just try to post when you're just beginning at least 4 times a week.
Okay.
Shorts. And that's in a very minimum. Like a lot of the standards that I like to keep is one post a day every single day in terms of consistency. The second part of short form videos that I think a lot of people are missing out on is they sometimes concern too much about, oh, my videos is like, you know, I need to like reword this. Like, you know, maybe I have a video this is super valuable, but it's not going well. And now like, I don't know why it's not going well because it's super valuable. where I would just say it's not that it's not valuable, it's just too boring.
Sure.
So go back into that framework of the hook, reward, and the retain. That you probably have the reward, but you're just not hooking them correctly.
Okay.
Like there's contents out there that people make that is very interesting of a boring topic. There's a lady that just makes short form videos about Excel like formulas because she makes it interesting.
Right.
Like I wouldn't want to have studied Excel formulas, but so going back to that framework of like how can you make things interesting, which is the hook. How can you actually give value that rewards them for sticking around, reward, and then just retain them? Just politely ask them to do something very simple.
The call to action.
Yeah.
Yep. Click the link below. How do you measure success of a short form content marketing campaign?
Oh, that's.
Oh, we got him for
I
you.
got him that one,
Not like the
man.
currency, but you
I
coming
love
through.
that. I love that. Oh, no, that's good. So you said, what was it? So how do you
measure the success of a short form content marketing campaign?
Ooh, I love that. So I think there's a couple of things. There's two sides of the angle that I like to tell people. One is your hardcore key performance indicators. So that's are your likes, your views, and your following.
Okay.
If you see any of those growing, I think that's a success over a certain period of time. I wouldn't watch it on a video per video basis because it's like a 30-second video. I would watch it in like a 3-6 month span. Okay, are we getting any like improvements in our following or in our kind of like views? So that's one. So getting that base metric of what it was before, getting that what's after, and kind of working on what is that percent change. So that's like your KPI, your actual hardcore target metrics. Now, on the other hand, I like to call this like your social currency too. Okay. So you all are business owners, and a lot of people that I work with are business owners, and they like to go to events and do all this different stuff. So if, for example, they've been creating content for like 2 months, and you go to a conference, and the people start telling you like, yo, I love your content. I saw your stuff.
Right.
One, that's a good indicator that your content actually hits, your message is congruent, right? It's like it's delivering to your desired target audience.
Right.
Or maybe if you are speaking somewhere and you heard people start saying things that you've been saying on social media, that's also a good reason, kind of like in the back end, that your messaging is working. That means like whatever you're saying, like for example, one of my people that I work with, he does ADUs. So he's been saying the word like practical development in his videos. Like, hey, here's how you do practical development. So whenever he went out to his masterminds or he went out to like go to networking events, like, yo, I've been seeing your stuff about practical development. Tell me a bit more.
Nice.
So that's like one of another social indicators. Or last but not least, the easiest one is if somebody actually reaches out to you and like, yo, like that's sick. You know what I mean? Kind of like those positive encouragement from either your target avatar or maybe even like some colleagues that you work with, because that means like, hey, what you've been putting out is valuable to some amount of people, and you know, it hits.
That's Chris Luna.
Yeah.
Shout out to Chris Luna.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I like that. And I agree with what you're saying because it's messaging.
It is.
You know, is your messaging effective?
Because at the end of the day, people think that social media, I mean, you can make it all into a funnel, right? If you think about the marketing funnel, you have the awareness, you have the conversion. Awareness, you have the consideration, you have the conversion. So we're just, with the videos, we're tackling the awareness level right now. Just getting as many awareness as possible about what you do, what you stand for, what you believe in. That's your brand, again. Right. Your videos that you put out, tied up together, that's your brand. That's your bouquet of brand, right? And then those interactions that you see in people in real life, those are the consideration, you know? Where are they going next now that they follow you? So that's another question in business, like that you got to answer. Like, you're going to lead them towards an email nurturing sequence? Or are you going to like give them a free lead magnet? Are you going to get on a call with them and get on lunch with them? I don't know what that looks like depending on your products. If you're a realtor, you probably want to get them in some sort of like, hey, if you want to see the hottest homes in the 92115 zip code, like I have this like every single week, I'll send you that one. So I'll send you this list. That could be your consideration phase. And then that's not even like them buying a home from you. That's not even the conversion. People think that social media, just by posting videos, you'll get conversions right away. Nah. Whereas it's a progress, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, like, even for, like you said, a realtor, they could say, hey, I can send you a pamphlet to the things, 25 things you should do before selling your home, or
Right.
something like that.
Right.
And they can get their contact the information and then follow up with them. So that's a way to get a business.
Exactly. Yeah. It's not like just because of posting videos, someone would knock on your door and say, I want to buy a home from you. You know what I mean?
I agree.
Yeah, how often should you post? You said like, you know, when we first getting started, at least one video a day, you know, for a week or so like that. What is over posting? How does that look like?
I don't think there's no such thing as over posting.
Okay.
I think you, like some of the top, like biggest names out there, just named like Rich Summers, Hormozis, Ryan Pinedas, they post 6, 7, 8 times a day.
Okay.
A day. Crazy, right? Like, so I don't think there's no such thing as over posting. If there's anything, it's just like, you know, when you're getting good at creating that message, that 3 framework, you know, the hook, reward, and retain, then just put more volume into it. Then you're going to get better.
Absolutely.
I mean,
yeah, I'm learning to become an attraction, and I'm learning that by making better impressions.
Yeah.
I'm getting more conversions by my KPIs. I'm
That's
noticing
good.
that, and ultimately making more transactions. So I'm learning just how to, you know, catch them in the first 3 seconds.
Yeah.
And so yeah, what are some of the videos, if you could share, you know, that has really went the distance for you?
Man, I mean, I've had 2 recently that was actually like blew up. Like, I mean, for me, blowing up is like more than like 10,000 views. I'd say like it's pretty big.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's what people need to also think about, like relative to your current stage, what is a healthy amount of growth for you? So, for example, somebody like a Hormozi, like Alex Hormozi, if you know who that is, or
Absolutely.
Ryan Pineda, like their standards is probably getting like, I don't know, like 500,000 views per week. That's their standards. But
Sure.
Right.
if you just have like 1,000 followers, you can't expect to have 100,000 views a week, right? So getting that, what does that look like for your level is also important. So for me, if I get anything above 10,000, I call that like a quote unquote viral video.
Okay.
Right. So the one that actually has been really good was me asking people like on a conference. So sometimes what I like to do at conferences, this is a tip for everybody that wants to make content very easily.
Game,
like-
game.
Right. Like super easy. You go to a conference, you pull up your camera, get your little microphone in, just very easy to set up. And then as people walk by, just like, yo, let me ask you a couple of questions. Because you know that person is probably going to be interested anyways. Like they're in a conference to learn and network, right? And I usually have like 3 questions that I'm ready to ask people. Like, so for me, it was like, if you have $10,000 to invest, what would you invest in? You know, what is the fastest way to be a millionaire? That's my go-to questions. But if I want to get to know them, I usually like early on, I'm like, yo, like, what do you do? Like, what do you want me to talk about? So this particular dude, he's a jeweler.
Nice.
So he's a jeweler up in like Los Angeles or something. And he was like, yo, like the topic of natural diamonds versus lab diamonds is kind of hot. So like, let's ask it. So now I'm like on the spot, like, how do I create a really engaging hook for that? So I ask him like, is it worth getting natural diamonds over lab diamonds? And I just let him talk. That's it. Because he's the expert, right? So just let him talk. And people blow up in the comments because again, it's a controversial topic. People debate a lot. People are like, oh, lab's better. Like natural is better. And the more people that comments and fight each other, like the more engagement it gets. And like, you know, that's kind of the reality of it. But so it was like back to back. So, you know what I mean? That video blew up.
It's funny. You can post something on your page and ask a question and then go to sleep. And then, like you said, all these comments, and you're like, whoa, what happened over last night? And 2 friends that don't know, they just know you. Yeah. But they're going back and forth on your page.
Yeah. Key tip too is like silence your notifications in your socials. So, what I like to do, like a good best practice is that every day I would just block off like 30 minutes to post on all of the platforms. Like for me, I posted myself, like I know you can outsource that to like a marketer or like a manager or something, or even using an app, but I like to post it myself. But once you post once a day, just like close the app, just like don't check it, just like let it be, carry on with your day so that you're not too invested in it. And then, you know, and maybe check later on tonight, you know what I mean? So
and you don't use like marketing tools like Hootsuite or any of that stuff. You do it like
I do it hands-on,
like old school.
Yeah, I did. And what's funny, I like to do some tests on my own stuff. Like, you know, because like, okay, people have debates over should I do hashtags or should I not do hashtags? That video, that with the diamond video, I believe had 0 hashtags, and I just put like one sentence, and it's like, check this out, something like that, and it blew up. So yeah, it just content's always king. Like,
I have a question. I have a question for my understanding. If you put a link, if you're on Facebook and you make a post and you put like a link on there, like like where to buy a ticket link, does that get swept under the rug in the algorithm? For example, because Facebook knows you're trying to sell something, so they kind of like, you know, don't want to push that.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like Facebook knows the true answer to that. I'm not like, I don't have any information on that.
Okay. So
what I would do is, if you have a link that you want to promote,
yes,
don't put that link in your bio, because like, I feel like the link in bio is just sometimes confusing for people. I know, right? All you have to do is just get out and click that link, but confusing. So what I would do, if you have a video that you want to link to something, post a video, use a call to action of, hey, if you want more of this, check out my stories. Whether that being a Facebook story and Instagram stories, both works. And TikTok has stories too. And right after you post that video, you post a story on your story, just kind of like you can link it on your picture. So say like, check this out if you want that free thing. And then you have that link over there so they can check it out on your story. So
call to action.
Yeah. It's just like placing, where would you place that link? You know, like the old days you would put it on the caption, which nobody can really copy and paste that. So nobody would go use that link. So some people use link in bio now. But the mistakes that people do in link in bios is that they have too many link in bios and people get confused. So just do it on your story. It'll go away tomorrow, but that's okay. Just make another one and you can still advertise that lead magnet or that email list or whatever you want to advertise.
What are sometimes when you message someone, they will send you the link, or obviously they're not doing that. Is there a tool that's doing that for them?
There is. ManyChat is a good DM automation tool. It's Many, CHAT, like ManyChat. So that's where people, when they go like, DM me the word X, Y, and Z, and then you'll receive like a one-pager. So they would do that. So that's ManyChat. But some people actually just have, instead of like using that app, because sometimes like kind of like clunky sometimes, like if they just say something kind of in the words, if you're not very careful when you're creating that, like it just looks kind of cringe, you know what I mean? Like sometimes it just sends out the message out of no reason. So what people do is they have a setter, like an appointment setter, like on their Instagram, that if there's a message, they would just like engage with them right away, maybe get their emails. Now you put their email into an email list, whether it be on MailChimp or whatnot, and you can trigger an automation that's like, oh, everybody that, every new email that gets into this email list gets now triggered on using Zapier to send this specific message, which is going to be your list or whatever, your lead magnet.
Yeah, you'll have to set all this up for me. You lost me at Zapier.
That's what we're working on right now with Chris, actually, fun enough.
Oh,
We're
really?
doing like automation stuff for all the emails and stuff. So that's the middle funnel now. We're working on the consideration phase, not like the awareness anymore. That's like more of the deeper marketing funnel. Yeah.
Yeah, because I guess once you grow, you're going to start to get more people engaging with you where you can't engage with everyone. So I feel like that happens to me now. I don't have 1 million followers or anything like that. So.
Right.
Not right now, but it's on its way.
No,
Right.
but I'm just saying in general, you know.
How do you scale that operation?
Yeah, how do you, because I want to be authentic. I want to be what you see on the show when you see me in person.
Right.
That's really important to me. Some people may not feel that, but I want to be,
Yeah.
look the same. I want to, you look at a picture of me and you see me in person, like, that's him? Like, nah.
He's only 5'5".
Yeah, nah, that's not it.
What tips or trades would you get about MailChimp? A lot of people use MailChimp to send out and blast out. Like, how do you feel about that?
I just know like the basic usage of MailChimp. I'm not like a super crazy like email automation person. I'm more of like the video guy. But I mean, at the end of the day, what I can tell you is like if you use, once you post content and you have some sort of a lead magnet to lead them to, you want to try to get their emails as fast as possible, because now that contact becomes yours. Right. Instead of it be like still staying in Instagram or TikTok or Facebook or whatever that looks like. Because if TikToks get banned tomorrow and TikTok's your only channel that you're advertising, you're kind of screwed. So that's kind of, yeah.
So capture it as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, I just seen that you're a bellywick when it comes to the new age tech. That's why I hate you with the Mailchimp because, like you said, when you're a brand, when you have solutions,
Yeah.
people ask you about a lot of things.
Right.
And one thing we're starting, my company, Young Black in the Business, we put our some videos in our Mailchimps.
Nice.
So I just and how long is a short film should be, or a short
form videos.
short form video should be? What'd you
Less
rate?
than a minute and a half. I would
Less than
say.
a minute and a half.
Yeah, and I would say that the most optimal really is around 40 seconds to a minute.
40 seconds to a minute.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I usually try to strive for a lot of our clients that I work with. Even with my own content, it's like 40 seconds to a minute is I see most prime.
Very nice. Oh, what before we get all your handles, so like
Oh,
those
yeah.
what's coming up in like the video world? What type of like best camera, best technology? What's one of the best apps?
I think so. This is an interesting one. I mean, I can tell you all day about like best cameras and stuff. Like,
Sure.
You got the new Sony's coming out, ZV-E1. I can start talking about like gears, But again, if you know how to use the gear, that doesn't make sense, right? Because
Right.
so what I'm seeing is that a lot of people are starting to get into social media, even though it's still pretty early. If you're trying like in a very, very big retrospect, I think social media is still way undervalued than like traditional media right now, which is like TV and radio and all that stuff. But going back to trends, I think those who can tell their stories better wins.
Okay.
So I think that if you can really master from using that framework and then tell your story in your own way, whatever that looks like you don't have to talk super fast and energetic like how I do on videos. There's some people that are like very successful talking very laid back and very chill, and that's like his vibe, you know what I mean? So it's about who can tell a better story to their audience, and quite frankly, that's like a very unique thing for everyone. So depending on your audience, you got to be able to really nail down that whole hook, reward, retain framework so that you can connect with them. So that's as far as trends goes that I'm seeing.
I appreciate that. I'm learning so much, and I hope the
I hope
listeners are
so.
too, taking copious notes because social media, what Confucius said, the person that can control the media,
Yeah.
control the minds.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The one who can wield the attention really wins, because
Oh yeah.
that's it. Like nowadays, like if you have attention, like you can do a lot of great things. The right attention too.
Yeah, 'cause interesting. Like some people are judgmental over some other person's success, and they'll say, "Oh, well, I don't like their content, or I don't like this." But at the end of the day, they're successful in their business. They're getting business from the content. How is it that they're doing it incorrectly?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like some people say, "Well, I don't like the way this talking head stuff, and I'd want them walking around when they talk," but they have an audience. Maybe you're not their audience,
Yeah, exactly. Like that's kind of what I would like try to advise people when you're creating content. Think about it like you're not creating it for your friends. You're
Right.
creating it for some strangers.
Right.
Or like if you're super new, my advice is always like, people are always like, I don't know what to talk about. You know what I mean? They're like, oh
Sure.
God, like I don't know what to talk about. The easiest thing is just like, think about where you were 5 years ago and what kind of problems, challenges that you've had 5 years ago, and what kind of tools you wish you had known back then in that 5 years ago you, and make content about that. Because there are currently people that are in that same exact position that would watch that content that you put out if you were to give them the tools and the stuff that your 5 years you would have thank you. That rhymes, but yeah.
How can you stay ahead of the how can you stay ahead of the competition in the short form content marketing space?
You follow me? No, I was kidding.
There you go. That's good. I like that.
I think that's kind of like follow a couple of people that you want to be mentors in. So I think that's kind of at least like what I follow for my own stuff. So pick a person or two in a specific field or industry that you really admire, you believe in their values, and then just follow that person. Because if you have too many, then you get a competing thoughts, and you know what I mean? Just a lot, if all these people like post 9 contents a day, you're just like, too many stuff,
Right.
So pick like, who do you want to listen to for business? Who you want to listen to for real estate? Who you want to listen to for social media? Who you wanted to listen to for maybe like
Fitness
economy,
or
fitness,
food.
exactly,
Okay.
stuff like that. And
Travel.
yeah, and then just pick 1 or 2, maybe 3 at best, and listen to those people and see what it is.
'Cause
So
most of the time they have someone like you advising them on trending topics, so
exactly.
or they could just hire you.
Oh, they could, yeah. Or like at the end of the day, like even listen to a lot of like, podcasts, or I've signed to a lot of newsletters from people in my industry, like kind of in the social media space to take, to be ahead of it. Yeah.
What's like one of the newsletters that the listeners could maybe follow?
The Published Press is really good.
Okay.
Published Press is by these 2 YouTubers called Samir and Colin.
Yep.
Do you know them?
Yep.
Yeah, they're a podcaster. They're a super popular
Yeah, oh,
podcaster.
yeah. Their stuff is clean too.
Yeah.
Their videos and stuff are clean.
Yeah. I like Marketing Brew. It's also a good one.
Okay.
So instead of Morning Brew, they have a little little branch of Marketing Brew. So that's
And
kind of their marketing.
What's a podcast that you listen to?
I've been listening to a lot of The Game by Alex Ramosi.
Okay.
He did just launch a new book. I had to plug it in.
Was it
$100 million leads.
$100 million leads.
And it's literally like they have a course on marketing for free.
Nice.
I know it sounds like suspicious, but I actually took it, and then it opened my eyes about a lot of different stuff that I didn't know before. So
Nice.
it's actually very useful. So that's, if you're really into that you can go to their website, things like acquisition.com or something like that. So
Yeah, Alex, we want 10%.
yeah, exactly right. Well, it's free, so 10% of it free.
That's why it's
Give me the goodwill. Yeah.
You gotta.
Yeah, I just want to know your handles, please. Can you share, where our listeners, followers, viewers could
Yeah.
find you and follow?
So it's kind of hard to type. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
It's at Brandon.Fortino. So it's my name.
Okay.
It's
No,
very
that's
simple.
easy, right to the point.
Right to the point.
Less than 40 seconds. You got us.
Any big announcements of something coming up that you got going for your business or personal life? Or I know you came back from Colombia and.
Oh, yeah, that was fun. I love traveling.
Right.
I'll be speaking at a realtor event next month in September.
Okay.
Fathom Realty. I don't know if you know where that's at.
Okay.
So going to be talking about social media there. It's in
Nice.
Vegas.
Nice.
Going to be at WealthCon with Ryan Pineda in Las Vegas too in October.
Nice.
So that's going to be fun. So if
Hey.
you're there, hit me up. We'll make content.
Nice.
We'll make videos.
Yeah, that's really dope.
Yeah, so far it's just like, I guess for the business, we are still looking. So our system is like, we like to look for 5 business owners to work with every quarter.
Okay.
So right now in the Q3, we have about 3 more spots. So
All right.
we can, we're still accepting people.
Nice. And are you hiring?
Am I hiring?
Yeah.
So I guess if you're an editor, if you're aspiring to be an editor, feel free to reach out to me. Or
Okay.
if you are an appointment setter or maybe a closer for sales, also
Yeah,
reach
that.
out to me.
Boss.
just ask what you want in the world, bro. I'll
Absolutely.
hook it up.
And that's it. Like, I feel like with social media too, people like underestimate that power. You know what I mean? Like, even when you just post a story about like, yo, like I want to have lunch with 3 more people, like 3 more entrepreneurs, like hit me up, and people will hit you up. Because a lot of the times they see your stuff, they probably think that you're busy, but at the end of the day, if you're not, then you know.
You being productive.
Just in here, I got nothing going on. Love to have lunch with somebody today.
You'll be surprised. Huh? That's right. That's right.
Well, Brandon, I appreciate you coming on the show. Episode 51 is coming to an end. Hey, whatever I can do to help you, my resources are your resources. Definitely look at you as one of my friends. And let's keep this thing going. And words of Dr. Dre, just chill till next episode, and it is a wrap.